And welcome back to the channel. Today we have some exciting news for the Sonic movie 3. Finally! Before we begin, if you are new here to the channel and are a Sonic fan, go ahead and click the like and subscribe button. I am so close to reaching my yearly goal, which is 50,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate your support. Thank you. I almost ran out of breath there. Whew. Also, thank you for 49,000 subscribers. You guys are insane, I swear. I just checked and I saw that I barely hit it, so that's exciting and I'm very proud of everyone who's been sticking with me throughout this journey. You guys are proud of myself for actually doing something that people like. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your support. I really do appreciate it, and hopefully more years to come and more Sonic. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's speed into the news. Alrighty then, so today we have received the news of the release date for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Running faster, flying higher, and punching harder. Hashtag Sonic Movie 3 hits theaters on December 20th, 2024. Looks like we'll be getting it on the holidays. Wow, I wonder if it's gonna be a Christmas movie. Probably not, but we can dream, right? So this is very exciting news and information that we've been waiting for, and we finally got it. So it does look like we're getting a Sonic movie every 2 years. Still not sure how many we're getting, but I want to predict that we're gonna get 5 max. I also just realized that I'm gonna be 21 when this film releases. Wow. We still don't know the cast yet for this film. We don't know who's going to voice Shadow yet, or what other characters are going to be in it. We'll just have to wait and see for any future announcements for that. So what do you guys think about this release date? Are you excited for Shadow? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Also, before we end this video, I want to mention that I'll be posting my Luck film review this week, so look out for that. Well, that's all the news I have for today, everyone. Hopefully you did enjoy. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new here to join the Ring Army. My name is Nice, and I'll speed you guys on the next run.
I was a little shocked when Guardio told me about 10 different information leaks with which I had associated accounts, and that was just from one of my email addresses. I changed all of those passwords immediately. You might be surprised what Guardio digs up on you. Add their browser extension from the Chrome or Edge store, and a free security scan will detect existing threats found on your browser. You might want to sit down for that part. And for your own safety, I would suggest doing this sooner than later. After the scan, you get a 7-day free trial to remove all existing threats and enable real-time protection. A single Guardio account also lets you protect up to 5 family members, which should give you a break from being the IT support in your family. Start using Guardio now, and browse safely, my friends.
Hello, my beautiful movie-loving people. Thank you so much for clicking on another episode of Side Flick. We got a lot of movie news to dive into here today. Some of the stuff we're going to be talking about is another brand spanking update on the Friday the 13th franchise, one that should be very exciting. We have Jason Blum talking about another Paranormal Activity movie while he trashes the last one. A couple of comic book movie news on both the Marvel and DC side. Really, that along with so much more. So I'm going to need you movie fans to give me your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today. As a reminder, timestamps are in the description if you want to go ahead and skip around. Alright, but without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our first movie news story we got here today. First thing I'm going to discuss here is just one of the many leaks that Marvel actors have been talking about lately, some before they even get hired, which I think makes them immune to the Kevin Feige sniper. We have here Giancarlo Esposito, who we all know is wanted for so many up-and-coming roles. I mean, the DC fans want him for Mr. Freeze. I would love that. Spider-Man fans want him as Norman Osborn. He's got the waves. I would love that. And well, MCU fans, they want him for Magneto, Charles Xavier. Heck, just showing up as a cameo as Gus would be enough for us. Is that right? Well, he was recently at a Comic-Con where he was speaking truthfully to fans, and he admits, yeah, he's had conversations with Marvel, and here's who he wants to play in the MCU.
I have not worked for Marvel yet. I've been in a room with them and talked to them. So, there's the talk of Magneto. There's the talk of Dr. Freeze. Oh my. There has been talk of, who else are they talking about over there?
Dr.
Doom.
Victor Von Doom.
And there is Professor X.
Don't do this to us. Pick one.
Pick one. I'm gonna go for something that is a little bit different.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go and put it out in the universe that it is Professor X.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think like 8 times out of 10 when a Marvel actor comes out and says, I've talked with them and I want to play this actor, it almost never happens. The only time I can honestly think where it has happened is with Simu Liu as Shang-Chi. He was someone who was campaigning for that role and then eventually actually got it. So part of me is like, because Giancarlo Esposito put this out there, said it, now it's not going to happen. But man, I would love him as Professor X. He's got that demeanor and he's always playing villains now. I would love to see his range as a hero. My only fear is that Marvel has just talked with him to talk about some other nobody role or a small supporting role, but it's like Giancarlo Esposito deserves a big standing role in the MCU. Still, I think we're a long way from finding out what exactly that role will be, but I throw it off to you guys. You hear these options where Giancarlo Esposito could be in the MCU. Who would you want him to play the most, whether within the MCU or outside of it? Jumping on here to some other movie news before we just go straight horror the rest of this side flick. We have here Idris Elba admitting to another big DC project up and coming. He was recently doing an interview with Eric Davis from Fandango where he said, I just spoke with Idris Elba about his new film Beast. I asked what we'll see him in next, a Marvel project or DC, and he said DC. He said he's got a really big thing cooking for DC right now, and to me then, that means we're probably getting a Bloodsport series. James Gunn has been recently teasing he's part of another TV series outside of Peacemaker that he's working with DC on, and he's also made it clear that those shows as of right now are still safe and he's hard at work at them. They're not getting canceled by Destructive Man Zaslav. He hasn't touched them yet. So putting 2 and 2 together, I feel like that is the most obvious direction. I highly doubt Idris Elba will be playing another superhero or villain in the DCU, or that Bloodsport would even get his own solo movie. So as far as Bloodsport getting his own series on HBO Max or HBO, I would really watch that. Heck, I think I would be more excited for that than Peacemaker, and I ended up really liking Peacemaker. I just think there's some interesting things you could do with this mercenary's backstory, whether it is a sequel to the events of the Suicide Squad or what I would kind of hope a prequel where we get to see how he ended up in prison by shooting Superman with a kryptonite bullet. Could you imagine that is what the series is? So many people complained when the Suicide Squad came out that it's like, wow, this guy shot Superman and we never even get to see that. That's just like a background side story. James Gunn heard you crying, and it would be crazy if he actually turned that into a series and gave us a Superman on screen. Finally. Either way, it'll probably be somebody else and include a whole bunch of other lesser known DC characters, because that's what James Gunn likes to do. He likes to deal with lesser known characters that don't have that big of a fan base, so he can change them up and do what he wants without a whole lot of people complaining. So are you guys excited for more Bloodsport headed your way? Moving on here, talking about some just straight up horror movie goodness. We have a lot of updates, and let me tell you, I'm starting to get in that spirit. Just the other day, I was out and I saw a Spirit of Halloween was already taken over, and so I'm just starting to get in that spooky mood. And well, something to get you guys here in the spooky mood, we have Jason Blum talking about a couple of upcoming movies. One of them, The Exorcist. This is still the upcoming rebooted movie that they have planned a whole trilogy around that I am just more curious to see than actually excited for, if I'm going to be honest with y'all. Speaking with Variety, he said here, we're getting ready to make it. Hopefully we will do the same thing with The Exorcist that we did with Halloween. Make it in a way that's fresh and worth revisiting and feels different enough so people are happy we did it. Continuing on why he chose David Gordon Green to be the director of this, he's very good at respecting intellectual property that already exists and putting a new spin on it. And for one, I think it's interesting that Jason Blum is comparing the Exorcist franchise to what they did with the Halloween series, because I just feel like they're two different things. When you talk about the Halloween franchise, you just have big Michael Myers lovers, okay? There's people who just love the shape, love that character, and just want to see him in an interesting story, flashing people up. And then when you bring it over to a franchise like The Exorcist that, yes, made exorcism type movies super popular, and there's countless ones of them, I never see people specifically loving the franchise just for the evil little girl. It's just more of how unsettling that movie was, how much it creeped them out for the time, and I just don't know if having that same slasher mentality with the Exorcist franchise is gonna work out. I'm definitely open-minded, but it's just the way they announced 3 Exorcist movies, I'm like, what could you do that is that fresh and different? Still, we'll just have to wait and see. You guys hear these comments about the upcoming Exorcist reboot. Are you excited for it? Moving on here, talking about some Paranormal Activity. Jason Blum is just being straight up mean now. In the same interview with Variety where he talked about The Exorcist, he also talked about the upcoming Paranormal Activity movie that is set to be right now the last Paranormal Activity film. And one of the reasons is because Jason Blum said it himself that the last Paranormal Activity movie was terrible. I told you, I said this when I reviewed the movie. Paranormal Activity Next of Kin just was not very good. It completely lost the magic and passion that was behind the Paranormal Activity franchise. I applaud them for trying something different, but to me, it just did not work out. And I was really surprised when I saw a lot of people saying, I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. How you gonna go against Mr. Blum? You know how dangerously close this man gets to stuff?
Dangerously close.
Jokes aside though, I was just more surprised than anything that Jason Blum actually admitted that the last movie was bad. And aside from this next one coming up that we do have some details on, he said the only way he'd make more is if some great director would come with an idea like Scott Derrickson. And that's just like to me letting me know Jason Blum really likes Scott Derrickson, and that's who I kind of want to direct the FNAF movie, man. But we still got no news on that, even though we were told.
Dangerously close.
But as far as this next and last Paranormal Activity movie, it's set to come out in the year 2023, so next year. Based on the information we have online, it's currently titled Paranormal Activity: The Other Side. The plot synopsis currently goes as: The Other Side will feature 4 young friends who move into Katie and Christy's childhood house together before college starts, only to discover the gruesome past of their home and its connection to the 1988 incident. Set in the 1990s, it will reportedly address the fire that destroyed the property, which has only been mentioned briefly in a past few installments. And if that's the official plot then for the next Paranormal Activity movie, already miles better than the last one. I like the franchise more when it sticks to the lore and everything that's been building up in the past. This seems good to me. All that's left to wonder, will it go straight to Paramount Plus? Will this be a streaming movie, or is it going to get a theatrical release? What do you guys think about Jason Blum's comments on Paranormal Activity and this final movie? Moving on to something I was not expecting to talk about. It literally just popped up as I'm filming this side flick. We got here the announcement of 3 new The Stranger sequels coming our way. Hell freaking yes. We have here Blade Disgusting, who exclusively reported saying The Strangers, 3 new sequels in production next month. When speaking with one of the producers of those movies and asking if there would ever be another Stranger sequel, he just straight up confirmed, I think the next 3 are in production next month with another filmmaker that people will know. Lee tells us exclusively. Oh my goodness, they are gonna make 3 back-to-back The Strangers movies, and it's with a well-known director. I'm not saying it's anyone huge or big, but it seems like it's someone who, when they announce the name, you'll be like, oh, I know that director, I'm excited for this. And look, that first Strangers movie to me is pretty iconic. I remember watching it as a kid and just being terrified and so creeped out with the characters of the Strangers and the mystery behind them, but really how they just ruined this couple's life. Then after like a decade, we got a sequel that I think is supposed to be a prequel that was called Strangers Pray at Night. And look, as a horror fan, I had fun with it. I thought it was enjoyable, or I should say watchable, but it definitely did not meet the quality of the previous movie. It went for a more stylized 80s soundtrack blasting at your face vibe, which like I said is fun and watchable, but not really what I was expecting from a sequel that took 10 years to finally make. So now knowing they're gonna make 3 back-to-back movies, I'm just curious, why and where is this dropping? Most likely it's ending up on streaming, right? I mean, you don't just make 3 back-to-back movies unless you're gonna drop them on a streaming service, Fear Street style. I also think they didn't make that much money at the box office, so if you put them in theaters, they might not perform well. This is kind of one of the beauties of the streaming platform. They give life to these franchises that would probably be dead and gone. But if they can expand on the lore, make things interesting, go back to a creepy vibe, I am down for 3 more of these freaking movies. I throw it off to you guys. You hear about the Strangers getting 3 more films in production next month. What would you want the stories to be about? Would you be interested in them? Anything and everything, let me know down below. And actually, another last minute addition to this side flick before we get to the Friday the 13th news. They just came out and announced a live action Pac-Man movie is now in the works. This news came out exclusively from the Hollywood Reporter, and although we don't have a lot of details to what this live action movie will be about, they do mention Chuck Williams, who was a producer on the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, is the one who came up with the idea. And I'll be honest with y'all, I'm surprised it took this long for a live action Pac-Man movie to happen. I just can't believe it's gonna be live action. What is that gonna look like? Are they just gonna copy kind of what they did with Sonic the Hedgehog and have Pac-Man pop out with legs and arms meeting humans? If anything, I would love them to go more the route of Pac-World. Those video games I loved as a child, and I think something in that vein would be really fun to watch. If not, get ready for a nightmare-fueled looking Pac-Man in live action. This is something I'll keep an eye out for and give you guys more updates when stuff comes out, but you hear Pac-Man is getting a live action movie. Leave me your thoughts to what you think it could be about. And now, time to talk about the Peace Day Resistance, good old Jason Voorhees.
Today, we're gonna be unboxing these headphones that I bought online. See, the thing is, I had heard of Honey, but I thought that was way too good to be true. Then, after the fact, I found out on this purchase, I could have saved $35. I could have gotten Honey in literally seconds by clicking the link down there, but I didn't. Yeah, but I purchased these things on my phone. Honey wasn't available. It is available on your phone. Not only is Honey available on your desktop, Honey is now available on your phone with the latest version of Safari. Add them both by clicking down there or going to joinhoney.com/YouTube. Do it right now.
Take me to the ocean. Take me to the sea. Wash away my worries. Let my soul be free. Wash away my worries. Let my soul be free.
I'm just not gonna stream.
So just to kind of bring you guys up to speed,